YouTube, my name is Elizabeth and welcome to Book Babble. Today I am going to show you a little bit about what I do with my library. Basically what my process is of finding books and checking out books when it comes to my library. I use my local library so much. I'm there at least 3 or 4 times a week. I'm constantly checking out books. I probably have about 20 books checked out from them at the moment, and I'm kind of going to show you the process of what I do to get the books and what books I check out and which books I don't. I do want to say that my dog is chewing on his bone and it's pretty loud. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but if you can, I'm sorry. It's just the only way that I can distract him while I'm making a video. So first the type of books that I check out. I don't like go through each aisle of my library in the young adult section and just kind of see what I want, because usually the most popular books or the new releases or the books that I'm really wanting to check out are already checked out, and I have to like reserve them, and I get most of my recommendations from Goodreads or other booktubers or something like that. So I don't really need like the librarian or like the books on the shelf to kind of give me an idea of what I want to read next. I usually have I actually always have a very specific list of the books that I want to check out from the library. I do not buy a lot of books. Sometimes if I go to a used bookstore and there's a good deal, or a big box bookstore is having a sale, I will buy books occasionally, but most of the time I do not buy books. I get most of my books from the library because I like to read all of the new releases, and my pocket would seriously be hurting if I bought all of the new releases that I checked out from the library. So usually I get all of the new releases that I'm excited about. I request them as soon as I see that they're available on my site, and about a month or a month and a half before the book is actually released, one of two things happens. Is either the librarian decides to buy it, and like without, you know, a patron having to tell them to, and it shows up on the website, which is really, really nice because I don't have to request them, or one of the library patrons, me or somebody else, requests the book. And the way that we do that is with these little like request slip forms, and we just put in all the information of the book that we're wanting to like ask the library to buy, and then we get put on the waiting list for the book for when it comes out. So we just fill it out, and then that's usually for the new releases or a book that was released previously that the library does not own at the moment, which doesn't happen a lot. My library is pretty good about having they have a good selection of young adult books that I am wanting to read. So like I said before, about a month or a month and a half before a book comes out, I look at the library catalog online and I see if they have already bought it, and if they have not, I go to the library and I fill out one of these slips, and then it takes about a week and a half for the library to fill the order if they are going to, and sometimes if they don't, then I never really know why. They just don't, but that hardly ever happens. And since I've been here with this library system for about 9 months now, they've never done that to my knowledge. So yeah, that's my process of how I use my library. I've become very efficient in knowing how to use my library system, but when I first moved here to St. Pete and I had no idea how to use the system or what they needed if I wanted to request a book that the library didn't have, but I just asked my librarian and they answered all of my questions, and now I know exactly what I want to do. If I have a book that I'm wanting to get, or if it's an older book that's previously been released, I can just look online, or if they don't have it, I request it, and it's just super, super simple. Once you learn the rules and the regulations for what your library wants you to do for a book, then it's actually pretty easy to use the library to your advantage to get whatever book that you really want to read at that time. My library has a 3-week checkout limit, but you can renew up to 3 times if the book is not on request from somebody else. So a lot of the stuff that is not newly released, I can usually hold up to about 12 weeks. The stuff that is new, that is just recently released or new or popular, usually there's a bunch of requests, so I can only have it for 3 weeks and I can't renew it. I have to return it at that time, but that's fine. I read so many books in a month that I usually can get through the ones that are like that. But if I can't, then I I return it and then I go back on the thing and I request it again and I get back in line and I just do it all over again. Now I'm going to show you what I have currently checked out from the library. I'll start with The Burning Sky by Sherry Thomas. This is one of the few books that I saw on the shelf and I was just like, I wonder what that's about. That looks interesting. And you know, honestly, I don't remember what it's about, but I'm going to be able to keep this one for about 12 weeks. So I should be able to get to this. Next, I have Walk on Earth a Stranger, which is, of course, about a girl who can detect gold, and she's living in the gold rush era California, and so this is supposed to be super, super good, and I didn't get to this in 2015, so I'm super, super eager to read this. I got Ruin and Rising by Leigh Bardugo. I don't know where it is, if you can see it. Oh, yeah, I have Shadow and Bone and Siege and Storm right here above my head, and I didn't get I never bought Ruin and Rising, so I just checked it out from the library so that I can finish off with the series, and also so I can feel better about starting Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I just realized that this is not the issue, that this is not the one with the black pages, which makes me really, really sad, because I had checked this out when it first came out, and I got the ones with the black pages, and then I had to return it because someone else had requested it and I didn't get to read it in time, and then I rechecked it out and now it's not the black pages and I'm kind of upset about it, but oh well, it's no big deal. Yeah, so I wanted to finish Ruin and Rising so I can get on with Six of Crows and read all of the things that Leigh Bardugo has put out and catch up on all of her series. I also checked out Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli, and I checked this out because Trina over at Between Chapters, who's one of my favorite booktubers of all time, she like raves about this book, and I started reading the first couple of pages and I put it down because I just don't think it was what I wanted at the time, which is okay. It still seems something like I really want to read. It just wasn't my taste. It was like, this was like 3 or 4 days ago and it just wasn't what I needed at the moment, so hopefully I'll get to this before I have to return it. Also, I have A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I have been so back and forth with this book. I hear so many bad things, I hear some good things, and I just don't know if I want to read it. I just can't decide. So I've checked it out from the library like umpteen times, and I've just never got a chance to read it. Hopefully this time around I'll actually get to it. I've just heard so many differing opinions on it that I'm just conflicted and I'm not really sure if I should read it. You know, there are people on BookTube that I trust and they're on opposite sides of the spectrum, whether they loved it or hate it. So I'm just kind of like torn. I don't know. Next, I checked out Frozen Tides by Morgan Rhodes. I probably will read this next. I'm not sure. I love, love, love the Fallen Kingdom series. I don't know why I didn't read it as soon as I got it. I guess I just don't want to wait another year for the next book to come out. Maybe I'll wait until closer to the end of the year to read this one. I don't know. I love this series and I don't want to have to wait another year for the next book to come out. So hopefully I'll read it this time around, but maybe I'll have to check it out again. I also have Wolf by Ryan Groden. Now, I was conflicted about this because the type of story, it's about a girl who enters into a motorcycle race. It's a history, but it's like an alternate history. So like in this alternate history, the Nazis and Hitler won World War II, and this girl is entering into a motorcycle race to meet Hitler as the prize, and but she wants to meet Hitler so she can kill him, and I'm just like, motorcycle race, I don't know. And then World War II is definitely not my favorite point in history, so I don't know about that either, but everyone who I saw has read this, loved it. So I decided to pick it up and see what I thought about it. I also have Endure, which is by Sarah B. Larson. This is the third and final book in the Defy trilogy. The first ones are Defy and Ignite, and they made my list of my favorite books of 2015. Love, love, love this fantasy series. I love it mostly because like it's about a strong female character and it's set in a jungle kingdom instead of like a normal type of kingdom that a histories or that a fantasy is usually set in, if you know what I mean. So it was just different and I really enjoyed that. I love the covers. Do not let the covers fool you. These are like epic fantasies. Again, I think it's the same thing as with Frozen Tides. I just don't want the series to end, so I'm putting it off as long as I possibly can, but again, hopefully I'll get to this in the next couple of weeks. The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness is about kids who are just the common Joe in a world of superheroes, and this has seemed so interesting to me. I've never read a Patrick Ness book, so I think this is a good place to start. I don't know, but I mean, this is just seems so different and really intriguing, and I'm excited to see what I think. Rebel Belle by Rachel Hawkins. I think the next book in this series is coming out soon, so I wanted to catch up. Again, it's just like a description and a cover that I'm just not sold on, but everyone who reads this loves it, so I have to know what the whole deal is. Again, hoping I really enjoy this. I checked out these two books, Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell and Wonder by R.J. Palacio. I checked both of these out because the city of St. Petersburg, where I live, is doing this thing called One City, One Book, and basically this started in like San Francisco, and the library picked a book that everyone in the whole city would read, and it like took off, and it was super popular, and a bunch of cities have done it since, and this is like in the 90s, I think, like the late 90s, and so now St. Petersburg has decided to do this, and we decided to, like, all the library patrons voted, and we voted on Eleanor and Park for the young adult book, Wonder for the middle grade book, and we decided to read The Martian for our adult book. And I already read The Martian and I owned it, so I picked up these from the library to kind of participate in the One City, One Book. I'm pretty excited. The Orphan Queen by Jody Meadows, another 2015 release that I was highly anticipating that I just never got to, that I need to hurry up and read. And my most recent book that I've checked out from the library is Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. Everyone is talking about this book on BookTube, and I just needed to know what was going on. This book came out, what, like a week or 2 weeks ago or something like that, and I had it on hold, and I was like the second or third person on hold for this, and I just got this yesterday finally, and I just love the way that my library system works. It's very fast and very efficient, and even though this came out like 2 weeks ago, that's still pretty early for a popular release that's come out. And the last three books I just want to mention really quick that I have checked out is The White Rose and The Jewel by Amy Ewing, and Happily Ever After by Kira Cass. I'm not going to really talk about these because I read them this week, and I am going to be doing my weekly wrap-up in a couple of days, so I didn't want to kind of like spoil my thoughts on these, but I will say that it was a really good reading week. Alright guys, thank you so much for coming to my library haul and kind of like my library step-by-step process that I go through. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!